Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our meeting tonight. And I want to thank you for taking the time out. I'm sure of a busy day, rainy day, and to listen in to a meeting tonight, in a meeting that is a subject that everybody is talking about. Either they're doing it publicly or they're doing it during the break tables, room, conference room meetings. You talk about it during the reunions. You talk about it at church. You talk about it at the games. Everything that they're talking about. My goodness, I don't feel that I can make the ends meet. Or they're saying, I make all this money and I don't know where it's going. This subject that we're going to discuss tonight of family budgeting is a very important subject. My name is Ricky Pitts, and I'll be your host for tonight. And on behalf of Bessie Cooper Harris, the other regional vice president, we want to let you know how much we appreciate your time tonight. So we're going to get right on into it without any further delay. If you can't hear me, someone please send me a text. Sometime the technology, you know how that works. Sometimes it works good. Sometimes it doesn't work as real good. But if you don't hear me, send me a text and let me know, and I'll see what I need to do to make the adjustments. But the subject again is the power of family budgeting. And that word budgeting has gotten a bad rap over the years. If you are a person, or if I'm a person, anybody on the call is a person that loves to spend, that's not a real popular word. But I want you to kind of change everybody the way you think about that word tonight. And what we're going to cover is going to be very fundamental. It's not going to be anything profound or prolific. It's going to be some things that you've heard before, but we're just going to bring it to you again, just the financial blocking and tackling. It's not going to be a real long meeting, but I want to encourage you to take some notes. I'm going to put some information in the chat tonight for you to take back home with you or to print out to go over when the meeting is over tonight. So please just kind of log in, stay focused. Don't try to multitask. I know I can't do it. Some of y'all may be good at that, but I simply can't. But give us your full attention for just the next 25 minutes or so, and we think it'll be worth your time. First of all, budgeting is not a dirty word. Let's just kind of put that right out there. And I think I've said enough about that in the introduction, but it's important to embrace that because you hear so many people say, if you're talking about the word budget, you don't have any faith or you are limiting God. And they're getting real deep when they say things like that. And they forgot about the fact that you got to count up the cost just to see if there is sufficiency to finish the project. So budgeting is not bad, biblically or naturally. It's an important word to consider. I want to talk about a few things that says, did you know? I'm not going to cover all these for the sake of time, but I want to cover these two right here. 75% of Americans don't think they can save enough to retire. That's almost everybody. And nearly half of Americans they expect to retire in debt. And sometimes this is after working for 25 or 35 or 45, sometimes 50 years. And they expect to retire in debt. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying tonight is very important, and this is why it's important to embrace this word called a budget and not feel that it's a bad word. So the question then becomes why? Why create a budget? Well, let's talk about that. To get a grip on your hard-earned spending, that's number one. Number two, to save for retirement or a specific purchase rather. Number three is to know exactly where your hard-earned money goes every single month. And then to avoid that debt trap, because I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, it is a trap. Now, here we are now. This is December the 4th. In a few more days, 21 more days, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Hang all the mistletoe. We're going to get to know you better this Christmas. All these things it's going to come up in a few more days. And if we're not careful, we'll find ourselves throwing the budget out of the window. And we want to encourage you tonight to think. Think about the first quarter of 2026, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then consider before making a major purchase and getting into a lot of debt. So the next thing, it's important to write down all the income. salary, child support, alimony, pensions, social security, disability, real income, dividends. Write it all down, even bonuses. Some people say, I'm not gonna put my bonuses in my, because that's my money. I did real good. They had a good quarter in the company, and they rewarded me with this bonus, and this is mine. I'm this is my blow money. Don't do it. Don't do it, because if that happens, it bleeds over into other areas of income. So put it all in the pot, the whole thing, and then divvy it up from that point as far as what goes where. That's also, we're going to look at 6 simple steps. Now, this is not complicated. And what has happened over the years, the financial advisors want to appear so smart. And so they make it so complicated. So you got to call her or him for everything. Listen, this is not rocket science. This is basic fundamentals. 2 plus 2 is 4. And if we focus on these fundamentals, all of us can make sure that the financial house is in real good, solid order. So let's look at number 1. We want to find out where the money should go. Now, when I say where the money should go, there's an ideal budget, and our monthly income should be divided between 5 main categories of spending. Not 10 and 15, 5 main categories of spending. And let's take a look at those. Housing and debt, 30%. Taxes, 25%. Insurance, well, that's 4%. Savings and investments, 15%. Living expenses, 26%. But I'm going to tell you what happens most of the time, particularly around this time of the year, when we're not conscious of our spending, if we're not careful. That one piece of the pie called debt can eat up a major piece of that pie, and it'll look something like this: 45 to 50% in one category. And ladies and gentlemen, when that happens, and when we blow the budget and allow that to happen, it has so many side effects. It really affects communication. And some studies say it affects the immune system. It affects your personality. It affects our conversation. It affects our attitude, a lot of things. One of my good friends is a coach and coaches volleyball in Montgomery, Alabama State. And she made a point a few weeks ago that was so profound to me. She said she was talking to one of the girls on the team, I guess, a while back, and one of the girls came, and they came in with a little bit of an attitude, and she made it real clear that you're not gonna come into my gym with that attitude and bring the whole atmosphere down. And she used another analogy. I don't have time to get into it tonight, but it was really, really profound. And it's important that all of us feel the same way. Don't allow that to happen to you. Number 2, gather all the information, all that's needed to get started, and have a positive attitude during the gathering of information, because it's important to know that we're doing this for a reason. We're doing this to head off what could be a problem down the road, or to prepare for what could be an emergency down the road. And we're not trying to be pessimistic. We're being optimistically realistic. These are things that happen on a regular basis, so we have to embrace a budget. So that's number 2. Now, when I say gather the things, let's look at all the bank accounts. All the bank accounts, investment accounts, power bill, water bill, cable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Put it all down. Get it all of it together. And then let's talk about putting it on a spreadsheet. It doesn't have to doesn't have to be a spreadsheet. It could be a yellow pad. It could be something simple. Matter of fact, it may be even better right in the beginning to do it on something real simple, so as not to make it so complicated to where it's never done. So here's an example: the mortgage, the second mortgage, taxes, repairs. That's in the home category. Then there are utilities, electric and power and water and sewer and cell phones. cable and satellite and internet. I want to say something also about putting those things on a bank draft. You see, the reason why it's important to put as much as we can on a bank draft, because it's amazing if you miss a payment 30 days or 60 days, they can drop our FICO score by 100 points just by being late 30 to 60 days. So if it's on a bank draft, we don't have that concern. Our only thing then to do is to make sure the funds are in the account every week, every 2 weeks, every month, because we know over here, this separate account, and that could be another thing, a separate checking account just to pay the debt. I got to maintain 3,000, 2,000, 3,500 in this account over here because it's designed just to pay the bills. Ladies and gentlemen, if you put it on a bank draft, it's amazing how it would improve the FICO score over time because it's not going to be late. Then also we're conscious of our spending because we know we have a certain limit. I have to have $3,000 to take care of all these other obligations. That we just have a list of them, some of them right here. Then we'll look at another category, transportation and insurance. The car payments, put the car payments on a bank draft. The gas, a gas card, put it on a bank draft. Life insurance, all the insurance. And let me just say something real quick about life insurance. If anyone that's in the room tonight in this meeting, you have obligations, meaning a child or children, a mortgage or debt, or an aging parent that depends on you for financial support, it's critical to have life insurance because when you're gone, your income is gone as well, and you don't have anyone to depend on, or they don't have anybody to depend on when you're not there anymore. So what life insurance does, it creates that immediate estate in the event of your demise. Definitely put that on a bank draft because sometimes if it's mailed, it's easy to forget it. And then that thing lapses and the family's in a real bad place. Another important thing to take a look at is debt payments. So let's look at that again. Now, what I have here is a whole list of credit cards. Ladies and gentlemen, it's easy to get them. Student loans, it's easy to get them. But what happens is trying to pay them off, that's where the problem comes in. Isn't it amazing that they target kids in college with credit cards with no job and give them a credit card? If you got potential to make income, oh my goodness, they give you 2 or 3. Then they get out of college, they got credit card debt and student loan debt, and they're already behind the 8 ball before even getting started in life. And so let's encourage our children to be weary of careful of filling out credit card applications and sending those things in and getting into a whole lot of debt. But if you have them, it's important now to work on a game plan to get rid of them. We're going to talk about that at another meeting, but also put them on a bank draft. Now, we're going to have another meeting. I'm going to do a little quick commercial here. Next Thursday on the 11th, as a follow-up to this short meeting tonight. This is not going to be a real long meeting here tonight, but it's going to be on a debt management system. And at the end of the meeting, I'm going to put a budget worksheet in the chat that you can download to your computer and use it for notes from the meeting tonight. So hang on until the very end and to make plans to click that link to log on for the meeting on next Thursday. Now, another category is food, groceries, and dining out. Let me talk about that dining out a little bit. It's so easy to be unconscious of the spending and say, I just don't have time to cook. I've been working all day long, and it's just easy for me to go out and get me something to eat, go to Ruby Tuesdays, Old Charlie's, a Chick-fil-A, a McDonald's, just grab me something, come on to the house. And it's not going to cost me that much. It saves me a lot of time. And let's say that you got 2 people doing that in the house, and they spend $5 a piece for breakfast. Just an old stale cup of coffee and a bacon, egg, and cheese. Okay, and it's probably gonna be that's more than $5. Let's just say we just being real, $5. Okay, $10 for a lunch. That's a sandwich and a Coca-Cola. They're gonna spend $15 for a very big, beautiful, large smoothie. Just a green smoothie going down so good. That's $30 a day. They do that a piece, that's $60 a day. That's $1,800 a month. Eating out just that quick. We're not even talking about grocery. We're not talking about Kroger's and Winn-Dixie and Walmart grocery. We're not talking about none of that. Public. We got to be careful on that. And then family purchases, child care and child support and alimony, all these things, tuition fees, all these things are expenses we have to be conscious of. And here's another important thing: personal care, grooming, going to the gym. And let me say something about going to the gym a little bit. You see, a lot of people, because we're so busy, we signed up for the gym membership a year ago and went 2 months and stopped. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm simply saying if you're paying whatever it is per month for a gym membership that's not being used, walk around in the neighborhood, do some push-ups at home, do some wall squats, sitting on the wall for 30 seconds, that at the house, because that's going to save some money. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, y'all, please in the chat say that makes sense. Okay, so I know I'm just not talking to myself here. This is some really important information, and so let's apply it. Another important thing is the pets. Thank y'all. All right, that makes sense. Very good. The pets. I see y'all in there. Thank you. I'm glad to see that one. Hey, for a minute I thought I was in here by myself for a minute. So thank y'all very much for that. These things are really, really important. Now, pets are also important. If you have pets, you got to take care of them. We got to feed them. Just like we have to eat what they have to eat. And so that's important. The vet bills and grooming and so on and so forth is important. Now, number 3 is discover where the money goes. When I say discover, you have to almost act like Columbo. You remember that old Columbo guy? He comes on every now and then. It's old movie. He acts like he don't know what's going on, but he knows exactly what's going on. We got to be Columbo in our own house. We got to discover where that money is going. I've seen cases. I've been doing this now for a long time. I've seen cases where we do a financial needs analysis for a family, and they say, and I say, you know what? What I see here is you got $1,000 a month left over. In some cases, $2,000 a month left over. They say, I sure don't know where it is. They got to go on a discovery and find out where that money is going every single month. Now, here's what we mean here. Now that you've created a list of the monthly expenses, now you want to separate and put them in 2 categories. One category is fixed, one category is variable. And that's a pretty big difference. Now the fixed, they stay relatively the same every single month: your mortgage, your rent, car payments, internet service, insurance, life, car, health, and home. Those things stay the same. And the one thing that we don't want to cut is our internet. Not nowadays, because look, right now we're doing a meeting and we have to have the internet to do this meeting. If we didn't have Zoom tonight with the rain and it's cold out, a little cold outside, half the crowd would not be here. Okay, but since we have this technology, it made it available. But let's use it to our benefit. Can we make money somehow or another with this technology? And that's, which is a whole nother subject that I won't talk about tonight. We'll probably cover that over the next 5 weeks in this series that we're going to starting tonight on how to make more money as well. Then there's a variable expenses, variable things like groceries, gas, entertainment, there's that eating out again, gifts, etc., etc. And gifts this month, it's going to be a lot of people spending a lot of money on gifts this month. A lot of food, groceries this month. And if you got teenagers or if you got kids in the house, well, you know, they can sometimes eat you out of a house and a home, right? They just go in the refrigerator all day long and they just turn all the lights on in the house and everything else, not conscious because they're not paying what? No bills. And so it's important then to be conscious of what's being spent on groceries, because at the end of the day, you got to make sure you monitor what's coming in. All of us do. That's over the house or run into financials, what's coming in and what's going out. Here's another important thing. Add it all up. This is step 4. We're almost done. Add it all up. Now, when I say step 4, add it all up, total up your monthly income. Now, that sounds real simple. What are you making per month? And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that because they've been spending so much for so long. And if you were to say to a person, what is the gross monthly income? They say, I don't know. All I know is what they put in my account every 2 weeks, okay? What they put in my account once a month. That's all I know. But it's important to be really, really aware of what your gross is and what the net is. But start right there. The next important thing is total up the monthly expenses. In other words, you want to act as if you are the CEO of a corporation or the CFO, and you want to know what's coming in, all the gross revenue, and all of the corporate expenses that's going out of that corporation called home. If you are a single parent, you are the CEO and the CFO. If you're a couple, somebody that spends the money better or saves it better, somebody is not as good. But determine who that is in your home. And the other party, here's a word, now it's not a popular word, should submit to that authority. Now I lost a lot of folks right there on that word submit. But it's important to determine who's better at what financially. Now, if the income total, this again, this is gonna sound so simple. Somebody says, you're not wrong. Thank you for that. If the income total is greater than the expense total, you're already off to a great start. If you put, and then you can take that extra money and put that extra money towards your retirement savings or use that money to pay down some debt. See, and I tell my daughter this, I said, baby, you want to always have more money left over. You don't ever want to be like this, just, and we say back home, hand them out, just hand them out. You want to be able to have something left over, baby. You know, my daughter's 30 years old. So we want her to be just airtight and bulletproof, right? And so down the road, she's very solid financially. That's important for us. The next one is if the expenses are greater than your income, listen, it's time to make some changes. You see, when you think about this, I want to identify two ways to increase or to change the situation. We either can increase our income or decrease our expenses. Those are the two ways we can change our quality of life. It's not rocket science. It's mathematical. It's not mystical or magical. It's mathematical. We got to make a decision. It boils down to that old-fashioned word called discipline, one that we don't like to deal with too much, but it's still real. It's still real. Now, number 5 is make some adjustments. That word adjustment is a real powerful word, but it's one that we don't like to do a whole lot. In life, we have to make adjustments. When I turned 30 years old, I made some adjustments. When I turned 40 years old, I thought I was still in the 30s. And 40 said, nope, you ain't in the 30s no more. You sure ain't in the 20s. When I got to the 50s, oh, can't do what you did in the 30s. Now that I'm in the 60s, hey, I had to make some adjustments. What was a priority for me in 20? What was number 1 on the list? It's not even on the list anymore of the top 10. It's not even in the top 10. And on it goes, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. Things change. We got priorities change, adjustments change. Financial adjustments have to be adjusted, have to change. Now that you have a whole list in front of you of all your expenses, now you want to find some areas to cut back in. And you want to look for those variable things that go up and down, change and up and down. You see, in number 6, since the key word here is create it. Most people don't have a budget, so you want to create one. Call something that's not that as though it is, and make it manifest itself. Create a budget, and make sure you take a look at it every single month. Now, let me say this real quick. When I say review it every single month, I want to challenge everyone that's on the call tonight as we get ready to bring this to a close here. I want to challenge everyone, those that are couples and married. I want to encourage you to meet with your spouse once a month, starting in January, at least in January, just to go over the financials. Once a month to say what's coming in and what's going out, so both parties are on the same page. If you're a single parent, meet with the children Now they ain't gonna want to hear this, right? That's boring to them. But if they understood that mama can't do what your friend is getting that has two incomes in the home and making twice as much as mama's making, maybe they'll understand when they have you feeling bad and oh, I want to make my child, I want to give the baby mama just can't do it. And here's the reason why. This is not negative. This is the income, baby. And I just can't do it. A meeting. What is it? One time per month, a monthly meeting. Well, that's enough said on that. Now, also, I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to put a budgeting worksheet in the chat right now. So I want you to get ready. Just look at the chat. I'm gonna put this in your chat right now. So look at your chat. You'll see this pop up. So hold on 1 second. Let me pull that up. And I want everybody to take your time and pull this worksheet here. So let me get it pulled up. All right. Budgeting worksheet. All right. And now you should see that now. Now, what I like you to do on the side, you'll see a download where you can download it. If you hover over that budget worksheet, you'll see where you can download it. There you go. Y'all got it? If you have it, please put some kind of note in the chat that you see it and you can download it. If you do, would please. Do y'all see that? Let me know somehow or another in the chat if you do see it. Okay? Anybody see it? All right, good, fantastic, fantastic. So I'm gonna do it again just in case. Okay, some side don't see it. Let me do it again real quick, and I want to download it again. So look at your chat, and you'll see it populate in your chat here. It's gonna say budget worksheet. Hover over that, and you'll see a download where you can download it. Okay, I just put that in the chat again. If you would download that, and now what you'll see here. If you don't have it down, give me a call. Those that I invited out tonight, I'll email it to you if you don't see it here now. But it's going to be a colorful budget worksheet. And it's going to be one kind of in black and white in the same worksheet. Take your time, go over that tonight, and just make sure that you have that together. Okay, you start working on that. So this meeting is not just a meeting in vain for 30 minutes tonight. Take it and at least look at it. Now, the next important thing is this. We're going to have another meeting on the 11th. And I'm going to put that link right now in the chat. Hold on 1 second so you'll see it in just a moment. And you'll be able to click on that link and register right now for next week, for the class next week. And you can invite other people as well in the family to also attend that meeting next week. So look in the chat here, and you should see it here in just a minute. If you don't see it, let me know. And let's see here. Here we go. You know what? I see the problem. Let's do this. Now, okay. All right, that's that. Now I'm gonna put that budget worksheet again because I see that some still didn't get it. Hold on, hold what you got right there. We're gonna send it to you right now. I'm gonna do it again. We want to make sure you get this. And I just put that in the chat again. Did everybody get it that time? The budget worksheet? Okay, somebody say, okay, you see the link? Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, fantastic. Y'all got it now. Great day, great. I see what the problem was. I sent it to just the host initially, but now I sent it to everyone. So good deal. Fantastic. All right. So, and then also, did everybody get the link? I hate to be redundant here, but I want to make sure you have the link as well for the meeting on next Thursday night, so you can attend that class as well. Going to last for about 30 minutes as well. Hey, look, we want to thank everybody for plugging into the meeting tonight. We've held you now for about 28 minutes, so we don't want to hold you too long. We appreciate it more than we can tell you. Please log back in again next week. Same time, log in about, if you would, when you register first, you'll get a letter like you did, an email like you did earlier. But encourage somebody, a son or a daughter, a neighbor, a coworker, a friend, your spouse, your son, as I mentioned, your children, the church member, your pastor, the deacons, the mothers, the missionaries, the saints, and the friends. Everybody need to know how to do some debt management, and we're going to cover that next week. Hey, look, y'all have a great rest of the week. Thank you again for plugging in, and we'll see you on next Thursday, same time. Y'all take care.